Happy New Year and welcome to our first episode of 2022 Football Armchair Experts, where we pretend to know everything, but actually we know nothing. Hopefully, you guys have had a great holiday season, opening lots of presents, eating lots of food. Or maybe you were like Gary Neville, so angry at his Manchester United players, he called them a bunch of winchbacks. Just now, I wasn't sure of what the definition of winchbacks was, so I went to Urban Dictionary to look. Turns out it's something like Liverpool fan Imran, Chelsea fan Robin, Newcastle fan Manjun, and I myself, Mark, I'm a Fulham fan. I guess we can start with the biggest game that we sort of missed out, Chelsea 2, Liverpool 2. It was a game going into it, everyone was talking about whether Lukaku will start and all that. It looked as if whoever was going to win this game would be the only challengers to Man City. Do you think it was the right decision for Thomas Tuchel to drop Romelu Lukaku, given the whole shenanigans about his interview?
Yes, I think it was the right call by the manager and the whole team. Considering, I think a lot of people have mentioned Chelsea's history with player power. We are the one club that has suffered from player power quite a lot in the past. So I think this is a very good step by Tuchel to make a change. And especially set an example, considering Lukaku is supposed to be the one setting an example, being like, 28, 29? And everyone else around him is pretty young. So I think the interview was released at a very bad timing, and I think Tuchel handled it really, really well. I have to give credit to Tuchel for that. It was a very dangerous position because obviously, you want to sell out and play your striker to try and win the game, or you stick to your principles of respecting the club and your teammates. So I think he chose well. It was a potential loss that we were willing to take, considering the lessons we need to teach this guy.
We were watching the Liverpool-Chelsea game, and at one point Liverpool were 2-0 up. Did it cross your mind that sort of gamble or his decision may have gone against him?
I did feel like that was game over. When Salah scored, I thought it was game over. Like we were going to get wrecked 4-5. Because, I don't know, Liverpool just scored, man. Made it look really easy. Like Salah's goal was, wonderful, man. And I had no hope. After that, I really gave up until Kovacic. Wow. Oh my God.
I guess maybe Imran will probably say, okay, being 2-0 up, having lost the lead within the same half, there's slight tinge of regret. I guess, maybe you could have put Chelsea totally out of the title race. You could have inched yourself closer to Man City also.
Yeah, I think, just a little tinge of regret. But not too big. I think the first half, I don't know how we got 2-0 up because Chelsea was sort of dominating quite a lot for the first half of the game. I think they played really well. But it just feels for Liverpool, it's really the individual performance that sort of put us in a winning position. It's like Chelsea were dominating, doing well, and then out of nowhere you have like one counter attack, suddenly Salah scores, one counter attack, or one mistake, and then suddenly Mane scores. So it's down to a Chelsea mistake, and all of it is sort of individual brilliance, or not really because Liverpool are playing well. And then even for Chelsea's goal, it's like the first goal was, I don't know, it's like a freak goal. Nobody could have planned for it. I think even Kovacic himself didn't know what happened. He just anyhow tried, then oh shit, it went in. It's more of instinctive, probably never gonna happen again. So it's also a bit of luck, I guess. And then also we made a mistake for the second goal. So I think that was fair. On the balance of play, I think Chelsea probably would deserve to win, but the fact that they considered 2 goals so easily, it was fair. And then the second half, I think both sides came out quite more equally. I think Chelsea weren't dominating as much, or maybe Liverpool just got better defensively.
We don't have to think back that far. Antonio Conte did have his issues with Diego Costa that I guess maybe snowballed into ending up costing him his job at Chelsea. Do you see this somehow unraveling the same way also? Perhaps maybe in the summer if Tuchel and Lukaku don't make up, then it sort of has to become the case where, will the board back Tuchel and sell Lukaku?
No, I don't think it would spiral out of control. I think they've settled it internally quite professionally. Lukaku, I think he realized his stupidity. I think his phrasing and timing was really off. His intentions was probably just to make up to the Inter fans, but it turned out he executed it extremely poorly. So he made himself look like an idiot, unfortunately. But I still want to believe in the guy. I still think Chelsea is one of his boyhood clubs, one of his clubs that he supports, right? So he'll still do his best, at least to try and secure a move away lah. If he really wants to go, so be it. I think the board will choose to back Tuchel rather than a player now, having learned their lessons from the past. So in any case, if it really turns to shit, right, Lukaku will be the one leaving.
Imran did mention just now before we started, Man City did eke out a 2-1 win over Arsenal. Some may say a bit of daylight robbery there. Arsenal were pretty impressive against the game against Man City. But before we get to the actual performance of it, looking at the points gap in the table now, it's like what Chelsea have played the same number of games as Man City, 10 points behind. Is that already too much to expect Chelsea to catch up? Liverpool are like a game in hand, but 11 points behind. So, is that too much to catch up for both clubs?
I think if Liverpool wins the next game, also cannot. Yeah, we'll still be we'll still be 8 points behind. And like this Man City side don't really draw a lot of points. And they can so easily just go on a run of like freaking 10 game winning streak or something. They do that every season. And they are like sort of in the middle of one now. Like even if they drop a couple of points, even if they lose to Chelsea and then lose to Liverpool, they're still ahead. Yeah, I think a bit too hard already. Other clubs will just look elsewhere. Look in other competitions really. Yeah, okay, so FA Cup.
Okay, so is that what Liverpool are concentrating on this season then? FA Cup, Champions League?
I also wouldn't say concentrating. We also just played youngsters this week. I think maybe Champions League we're doing quite well there. At the end of the day, I think it really is just the standard Man City set more than how Chelsea or Liverpool are screwing up. I think we're okay. In any other normal season without Man City, it will still have been a title race.
Okay. I doubt that Robin's answer will be any different, but just to check.
Yeah, unfortunately, Man City looks too good. And a little lucky with the whole COVID and injury situation. Every other club kena COVID. They like nothing.
This just reminded me. You said they're lucky. I'm like, wow. It's like it's like they're in the position they are now. I think a large part due to referees. It's like the Man U in the Ferguson era over again.
Why ref? Oh, okay, because of the Arsenal game, is it?
The Arsenal game before it, the Wolves game also some random soft penalty 1-0, and then I think Liverpool getting robbed by the referee during the Spurs game, and I'm pretty sure it's just everything going for City this season.
Yeah, the Arsenal win especially was a very championship winning win. Don't deserve, but they still got it.
I guess maybe you can see the red card, the double yellow. I think that one I don't really have much of an issue with. I think both yellows you can see them given, especially the second yellow, knowing that you're already on a yellow. You don't do that kind of pull back when Gabriel Jesus was the last man going in, so was true on goal. So I think that's a difficult one to argue. I guess maybe the penalty would be the one that is the main contentious decision. Yeah, soft penalty, that one.
But I know Silva was already half falling, and then
that was the little bit weird thing. Like he was already half falling, yet Granit Xhaka still made contact after that. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's I think it was, if it was a penalty, really very soft. So in a way, in agreement with Imran over that, I think Man City were very lucky to emerge with a win, especially if Arsenal didn't go down to 10 men. But they did kind of implode over that few minutes, where Arsenal sort of had an open goal, Gabriel Martinelli, then Gabriel got sent off just like maybe 2 minutes right after that. So yeah, or was it the same sequence of play even? Same sequence of play also. I have to give Arsenal credit over this run of sequence of games. Now they've done it against a big club. They've performed against Man City.
Yeah, dude, impressed, man. Very impressed. But then again, they have to, meet expectations by committing individual stupid mistakes lah. Like Gabriel, stupid red card. And it had to be Xhaka to concede the penalty. I wish it wasn't him, He's giving reason. Yeah, it's always him. Then sad. Then to be fair, I mean, Odegaard deserved the penalty. If they give the Bernardo Silva one, then Odegaard deserved it. But yeah, I just felt very sorry for Arsenal. I thought they defended surprisingly well.
Arsenal fans have been saying, trust the process and all that. Is this actually going to work?
I mean, I was almost afraid that it was going to, because they put up quite a good fight. Even before this, like before the Liverpool game, they were like doing okay, and then obviously they gonna trash, but after that, instead of going downhill, they sort of bounced back a bit, and then played well against Man City. So I was afraid again, but they just got dumped out of the FA Cup, playing against like random teams, so and like sort of playing quite a strong squad, I think.
I think it was more or less their
Excellent.
full lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, so like from the Man City game, I was like, okay, like maybe you can go toe to toe, but also maybe because it was an off day for Man City, I don't know. Yeah, but it was the fact that it was a good loss doesn't make it good, because if they get trash, right, then AFTV gonna be damn nice, but after that, because they lost very valiant, no one was ranting, we can all just like score the keeper. I mean not keeper, score the referee. So in the end, it's a lose-lose situation, like Man City never lose, then like still don't have AFTV to watch.
Okay, so lose in your perspective lah. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a win-win,
Okay.
at the start.
Yeah, I guess especially when Arsenal took the lead also. Okay, I guess can ask Manjun, in terms of Arsenal probably, possibly finishing the top four, is that a stronger possibility than maybe you thought was possible?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they got knocked out at the cup for a reason, right? So they can solely focus on top four league.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's a high possibility they can because looking at the teams behind them. Okay, I'm not like looking at Arsenal's capabilities. I'm more looking at like teams that can challenge them on top four. I don't think West Ham can continue very long, and Spurs also like screw up a bit. And Man U also another one. I don't know why recently it's been so bad. They're like giving like I think like the last recording I was saying, Man U probably was still top four from Arsenal. And then they completely proved me wrong in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, I think Arsenal, I give them a good chance of getting top four.
Okay lah. For me, I think Spurs is gonna be ahead of Arsenal just because Conte, I think, doing quite well as Spurs, and they have 2 games at hand. If they win both, they are like 39 points.
But I guess maybe the main story has been Man U. We were all quite taken with Ralph Rangnick when he got appointed. Maybe have to ask Iran, what do you feel about what you felt then now?
I mean, I'm feeling much better now.
Okay.
Turns out the first game was their best game, and then it was downhill from there. So I mean, when we talked about him previously, it was like his debut and everything. I don't really know what's coming from him, and it's very hard to judge from just that one game. Obviously, we had nothing else to work off from. That's why we judge him based on that one game. It's like based on that one game, and if he's on an upward trajectory, like he was supposed to get better and better, but instead he sort of just stagnated and then went down. So I guess one game new manager bounce. I think we sort of expected what he would do, what we thought Conte would do if he was there. Which was what Conte is doing at Spurs. At the start of the season, Spurs were like a dead team. But like, I don't know, Conte take over like 1-2 months only, and suddenly like revitalized, winning games, getting back into like the top 4 challenge. Man U is like change coach already, still in the same place. So
it seems like they're getting out of the top 4 challenge.
Yeah.
But okay, I guess maybe have to ask Manjun, in terms of like all the reports of the dressing room unrest, Ronaldo saying that hey, you better appoint a good manager. If not, I'm going to leave in the summer. Is this like a conducive kind of environment for a big top 4 challenge though? Like, is you have your dressing room in disarray. Nobody wants to really listen to Ralph Rangnick. Nobody wants to put in hard work in training also.
Actually, I'm quite surprised he got to this point. Like, I think 4 weeks ago, it didn't even seem that serious, and we thought Ralph Rangnick can probably like solve all the issues because he's like good with man management. And out of nowhere, it spiraled out to this stage. I mean, the thing is that even though it seems bad, but then I don't think results have been that bad despite the loss to Wolves. Like in the 5 games that Rangnick took over, I think still got 3 wins out of the 5 games. So I mean, even though they scraped some of them, but the wins are still wins. But even though it's reported to be damn bad, I personally don't think that it will spiral out of control. Yeah, I think Man U, knowing them, they will find a way to solve it. Then we will be them sian. I don't think it's a stage 4 terminal cancer. I still think it's savable.
Okay.
whatever identity that Rangnick was supposed to bring is not seen lah. Or at least maybe only seen for like 15-30 minutes. Then the rest they disappear. Then every other talk overshadows the on-pitch performances. Because people like to speculate and try to point blame lah. I don't even know what's at fault or who's at fault. But I don't know whether the system truly fits the players or whether they're happy with it in the first place. Like 4-2-2-2, trying to shoehorn everybody in. But I think it just proves that Man United's squad is a little unbalanced. And I think he himself admits that his midfield is pretty crap, but he has to work with what he got. So quite sad lah.
Okay. But it's good, but it's fun to watch. I think currently most of their problems is like more from their own like PR issues than on the pitch. I mean, obviously they have always been crap on the pitch since Ole's time. So I don't think there's any difference now. The only difference is that suddenly got all this news coming out about players being unhappy. But the results, I would say, is sort of the same. It's like scraping through 1-0 here and there, then finally lose one game, which is like not a big. I don't think it's like a very shocking thing.
Yeah, the only happy player now is probably Phil Jones. Congrats to the guy, man.
The Lord, man.
Yeah, I guess maybe have to give credit to Phil Jones. I think his last 3 games have come all in 3 different years. So congratulations. I think he's the only player who's ever going to do that.
Oh my god.
Oh, I thought he cried when he got his game.
I think when he came off, when he got subbed off, I think he cried. Looking at how the trajectory of Arsenal and Man U are this season, could it be that Man U become the club that is more in decline than Arsenal?
I think clearly, yes, at least for now or the past months, yeah, clearly they are in a steeper decline than any other club right now. I don't know about Newcastle, but yeah, Newcastle is on the rise.
It's always been like that, so.
Yeah, but decline when you're right at the bottom, but okay.
No man, yeah, United is. Yeah, they're in a very, very, very bad position right now. It's the kind of situation where Chelsea will sack manager again and again. That is the vibes coming out of the club is very, very wrong, very bad. I don't know if player power or a lack of player power is ridiculous. Just from the lack of leadership in the squad. And the leaders are just sulking and not really pulling anyone else or inspiring the team. So wrong kind of leadership style, I guess. So United is, I think, definitely in a worse decline than Arsenal. In fact, Arsenal are kind of slowly coming back up with their youngsters.
Manjun, it's January already. So obviously there's been 10 days in January for Newcastle to sign a player. They signed Kieran Trippier as their first player of the Arab era. But, you know, FA Cup, 3rd round, they failed the examination at Cambridge.
That's a good one right there. Yeah. I mean,
Newcastle side to shine.
Not much to say for the loss.
You played your first team, right, if I'm wrong?
Close to that. Close to that. I would put most of the blame on us not having an out striker on the pitch during that game, because we really attacked like headless chicken, to be honest. There was nothing going on. It's just ASM running and trying to create something. So somehow against a weak ass Cambridge side, like I don't know what's even going on. Even the goal they considered was pure. It was just very flukish. I don't know what's going on anymore. But you're right, it's January, so it's time to be optimistic. But I don't know. Same as the economy. The economy is going inflation now. I think now every club is trying to rip us off now. Like,
okay, but can you blame them?
Of course not. So it makes it even more difficult that nothing is going on.
With Kieran Trippier in, he's by all counts, he's not going to be a game changer. I think the free kick that everyone remembers him from is probably the only free kick he's ever scored. So, I mean, in terms of like game changers that you all have been linked to, anything that really excites you?
I'm more of an attacking guy, like an offensive guy. I think we need all the offensive power we have. And so far, the only fucking player that I linked to is Chris Wood. I mean, you'll get me and a Robin's thumb of approval, but other than that,
but that's not a bad strategy. Take from your rivals.
That's the issue. Like, would your rivals want to sell to you? Like, your rival,
you flop out enough cash, I'm sure they will sell to you.
Yeah, we've
been. I'm not gonna pay 50 million for Chris Wood. Let me tell you.
It just buy Timo Pukki lah. Norwich straight down already.
Disaster. Ayo. Then from what I heard, like we've been trying to buy Seth Botman, right, from Leo. But then I think it's a bit of a mixed bag because there are reports that he's actually not as good as what people think he is.
Okay.
He's the overrated player. So I'm just worried that we will come out of the January transfer window spending 200 million, but then actually we didn't get any better. They're signing overpriced players. So that's the worry. Yeah, at least now we can focus all on surviving. Now the Epic Cup is out of the question.
Okay, so that was part of the plan.
Yeah, it's always part of the plan.
Okay, for some context, right, Cambridge are, I think, bottom half of League One.
But you think I thought they are doing not bad. But they did get promoted
I have no idea.
League 2. So that's the thing.
Oh, okay. At least they're still a league team. I thought they're like some university team.
Okay. I mean, they are university town now. Okay, 16th in League One.
But I thought it's like those school team, like from the university one.
Although I guess Manju, you'll be quite happy to see the Cambridge striker. Well, is he a striker? I don't know. The guy who scored Cambridge's goal. Pretty nice last name, Joe Ironside.
Ayo,
Yeah,
so many funny names in the Cambridge team, Mateo.
Sounds like superhero.
Knock off Iron Man.
I think it's all going to shit now. It's a disaster. I was thinking, where the hell is Dwight Gale? He like disappear out of nowhere. He just nowhere to be seen. I don't know where the fuck he go. Like behind Callum Wilson, he was the only one left, and now he's just nowhere to be seen. Did he go to West Brom?
No, I think he's still at Newcastle though.
Oh shit, already? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I guess maybe anyone listening to this show, if you know where Dwight Gale is, please call 1-800.
You know where all our players go. Also all missing in action. I don't know where the fuck they're doing.
Okay, in terms of the Premier League Matchweek 22 coming up this weekend, I mean, there's already been one midweek game called off, Everton-Leicester. So, who knows if like all 10 games will continue. But we're still going to go ahead and review the games anyway. There are, of course, two big games. The main one, Man City versus Chelsea.
Tuchel kind of knows how to play against City, or Chelsea somehow turns up the game against City. But I guess the concern that's been running now is the midfield condition, I guess, whether injuries or sickness. Yeah, we've been kind of playing with a very patched up midfield, so I'm quite worried about that. Kovacic is carrying the team now, I feel. Kante, I think he got injured again, if I'm not wrong. So I'm quite sad. Jorginho, maybe, it'll probably be Jorginho and Kovacic, but yeah, it's always these guys, so it's a matter of time before they get really badly injured. So that's my worry. Versus like Man City's midfield, I think that'll be quite a tough game. But I'm confident in putting a good performance, but I'm not sure about getting a result.
As a neutral, just hope for a good game at this point. I think from Liverpool's perspective, you don't really care who wins or who draws. I mean, even if they draw, it's also not really good because it's just one more point game for Man City. But you also don't want Chelsea to win. Then you don't want both any sides to win. So I think at this point, you just hope for a good game from both sides.
Okay.
Can both sides lose? Cannot.
The one you have to invent a new type of VAR already. If you're Man City, if you're still concerned, a bit of the title race kind of thing, do you take a draw here? Or you do play for a draw?
No. I think you don't play for a draw here. I think if it's against Liverpool, you play for a draw. Because I would feel Liverpool are more dangerous contenders compared to Chelsea at this moment. Yeah, so I don't think against Chelsea you play for a draw. I think Chelsea you go for the kill. So that's -1 contender already. Yeah. But I do expect Man City to win this game. I expect Man City's winning one to go all the way until they play Palace again, probably. So,
I think it'll be another 2-2.
Oh, okay. Desmond Tutu will be very proud.
Okay, I'm going for 2-1.
2-1 Man City.
Draw also, but 1-1 between Man City and Chelsea. The other big game, I guess you can say, is the North London derby. This is basically added significance of it being also part of a top 4 challenge. Yeah, Spurs at home at White Hart Lane against Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Against Arsenal, travel back a few years back for that.
I feel at this point, right, both teams so uncertain, right? It just depends on what team they can field on that day. Yeah.
Okay.
So based on this, I think Arsenal at a bit of a lower tier than Spurs, because Arsenal have a lot of injuries coming to this game. I think Tomiyasu is out. Smith Rowe is still out.
Is he?
Yeah, Shaka is still out with COVID. Then they have players going for African Cup of Nations. So I think for this, a bit hard on Arsenal, but I think Spurs also they won't be with Son, so this game can go
Why
any
leh?
fucking way. Injury,
Injured, yeah.
yeah. They be without Bergwijn also, but fuck Bergwijn lah. What the fuck does he even do?
He never scores on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's still doing the score.
Both teams cancelling each other, to be honest. Solid 0-0 for this team.
El Neni, Pepe, Aubameyang, and Partey from Arsenal that are in on AFCON duty. Spurs don't have any AFCON players. So on the basis of that, I think Spurs will have a more complete squad. Spurs a bit of positive momentum behind them also. I'm going to go Spurs win. 1-0 Spurs.
Yeah, good point. No Partey, no win for Arsenal. Yeah, Spurs 1-0 also.
I think Spurs will win 2-1.
Okay, in terms of games to highlight for this coming weekend, I know which one Manjun will mention. So why not let's start with Manjun?
Sure, I can go with the Newcastle Watford game.
Okay.
I don't think you'll sign a striker by that day, since everyone knows we're out to sign a striker. So every striker in the world is like 10 times the fee again. Probably once sign Aksan Fani, will cost like 20 million or so lah.
You guys should go for loans. Just 6-month loan, then can reset from there.
I mean, because we're trying to set a new culture in this club right away, so a loan probably wouldn't be the right move.
Okay.
Yeah, not too sure. But I
But
don't
who
think
will come? Sorry.
No fucking clue. But I don't think if you have no striker, I think you'll lose this game. Yeah. So I'm gonna assume that we get a striker by Saturday. So it's gonna be a draw.
Okay. Even with a striker draw.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of striker can we get by Saturday? We only have 5 days left. You know what I mean? And he has to come by Thursday. You know, cannot play on Saturday.
Ryan Brewster.
My goodness, disgusting. Yeah. I think Watford they signed like 2 players also. I'm not sure who they are.
Oh, is it?
They signed 2 African players. I don't know because it's the Watford stuff that you know lah. Yeah. So I'm gonna go for a optimistic draw here. Yeah, it's gonna be 1-1.
I think both sides suck so new.
Okay. I agree with you, both sides suck. But I think this has the propensity for goals. I'm optimistic. I'm not watching, but optimistic for Manjun because I know he's going to be pumping a few minutes into this game. Manjun is going to slap me for this. Going to go Watford 2-1 win.
I'll go 0-0 for this game. Yeah. I think I'll go Aston Villa United lah. Seems more optimism now. Villa signing Coutinho. I wonder if he'll play probably from the bench. It'll be fun to see him back. Then United obviously in the dumps. Will they bounce back against Gerrard? Yeah, so I think it'll be a fun game. I am tempted to actually support Villa in this game, to be frank. Just because of the slump that United are in. It is the perfect time.
They're back in crisis after they lose.
Yeah. Perfect time for Villa to win.
In fact, they sort of have a dress rehearsal for this game tonight. So it's Man U against Aston Villa in the FA Cup, then Aston Villa Man U in the Premier League again. I honestly think I think they have a better chance in the FA Cup. I think actually it might depend on how the result goes also. Who knows? But
who they play.
Yeah. Even though surprisingly, people have been saying, Steven Gerrard, the whole new manager bounce and all that. If you look at the table, Aston Villa are currently 13th in the table. So it looks like even with all those wins, they've not moved up that much. Manjun, impressed with this new Aston Villa?
I think it's a bit early to say. I mean, they did get a hot start, but they did lose their last 2 games against not so. I think last game they lost against Brentford. Right, I think so, yeah. So, I mean, it might just be a hot start for Steven Gerrard. I think it's work magic during the first few games, but I think now it's a bit slightly consolidated already. Yeah, I think it will be exciting if somehow they can get Coutinho and Digne and Dean along through before the game on Saturday. But I think good for Gerrard because I think it shows the team got fucking ambition. Yeah, to make this kind of signings.
I don't know if I sense a bit of jealousy. Do you wish Newcastle had gone for Coutinho?
Yes.
Or Steven Gerrard?
As a player or manager?
Manager.
So anybody better than Sean on stuff now, so it's fine.
I think honestly, Coutinho wouldn't go to Villa if Gerrard wasn't there.
Yeah, that's true lah.
Probably.
You think he'll go for Dean Smith? No way lah.
No, I think Aston Villa won't even know who don't even have Coutinho's agent's number. Now it's Gerrard just automatically call Coutinho, you wanna come or not? Yeah. Okay,
So the best tells are at Liverpool. Oh, no wonder, no wonder. Oh, yeah.
Who is Eddie Howe pals with?
Dominic
Like,
Saki. Jordan Ibe, yeah, all my favorite. Fucking Jordan Ibe.
I think interesting game. Obviously, I want to see Man U lose. And obviously, I support Aston Villa because of Gerrard. So, 2-1 Aston Villa.
Okay.
Continue to score a stunner.
Continue to score.
Outside the box.
I think Aston Villa 1-0.
May 1-1. Because they're
1-1 for this. I mean, since we've not mentioned them throughout the whole episode, why not? West Ham against Leeds.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I quite looking forward to this game. I'm trying to see what team Leeds can put out for this game.
Oh, is it? They still have the injury crisis.
Dude, they're going to die. You look at their FA Cup team they put out against West Ham. It's total shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
so this is another repeat of West Ham Leeds also.
Yeah.
Okay, let me count how many injuries they have
They
according
have
to
no
this app.
out striker. They have
1,
nothing
2,
at all.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they have 12 first team players out.
What?
I think the junior football got injured also during the FA Cup game, so he's out also. I think it can be a spanking. Not gonna lie. Fuck it lah. Go for West Ham final. San Antonio hat trick. Let's go.
I'm going to go West Ham 3-0.
I think a bit more conservative lah. 2-0 lah.
I think 3-1.
Manjun is very into watching tournaments that people don't usually watch. The whole Suzuki Cup. Are you watching AFCON?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
I don't know where they air the games. I don't even know when they play the games.
Some games just ended, I think.
Or is it? I have no
Really?
idea.
Haven't started yet.
Senegal just won.
Oh, that's great.
Money.
Fun fact, do you know which African team has won the most AFCON Cups?
I think it's Egypt.
Yeah, Egypt. Then random.
Really? Egypt? Wow.
Hey,
Yeah, freaking random, like from nowhere. Yeah.
where's South Africa?
Oh, I don't think South Africa qualified.
And the South of Africa.
How did South Africa not make it? You got random teams like
Okay,
Malawi, I don't know, like
Shabalala
Gabon.
not there.
Yeah, lor, really got Burkina Faso.
Probably they got Desmond Tutu, too many Tutus already.
Look,
Okay, you're coming on picks now. Who's going to win AFCON?
What? I don't even know who is it. Okay, let me see.
It's always the team that you don't expect to win.
I only know Senegal, cause money there.
Yeah, who? Nigeria, random.
Egypt, got Salah.
Let me see. I'm going to go a bit left here. I'm going to say Morocco.
Wow,
Who's
who's
in
in Morocco?
Now who's in Morocco?
Although I think they didn't choose Hakim Ziyech, right?
Oh yeah.
Never lah, they fight.
But
How
that's
can they not choose?
Okay,
Yeah,
they have
that's
Romain Saiz at Wolves,
this is the captain.
Hakimi at PSG.
Oh, Hakimi.
Oh, okay. Hakimi is good.
Wait, why is Ziyech not there?
He got fight with the boss, I think, the manager.
Oh,
Okay lah, they have. I think their front three is quite not bad. They have Onesri from Sevilla and El Haddadi also. So I guess we don't really need.
Munia El Haddadi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotta go. Don't know lah. Go for Australia. Go for Algeria lah.
Some of the teams I never see the name before in my life.
Go for the nicest flag.
Like
That's what I always do.
Couple Verde. What's that?
Oh,
In Group A.
Wow.
I
First
don't
time seeing that name in my life. I think I know quite a lot of countries.
Okay,
Group C,
like,
Comoros. What's that?
wow. Oh my god,
still ranked
Comoros.
high in
I thought Comoros is an island. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
their
an
flag is
Right.
just other people's flag put together.
Sorry, Comoros viewers, but okay.
Go look at it. It's like really just like people just take random flags and put it together.
Wow.
Well, actually, all these countries qualify. South Africa never qualify. Really should go and just throw face.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You hosted the World Cup before somehow.
No, this South Africa lost to Sudan. That's why they didn't qualify.
Oh my god. Okay. I thought Sudan currently going through a war now, but okay, now mind.
Yeah, Sudan got time to play football, man. What the hell?
It's like now mind we pause the war while we going to the AFCON.
It's not what brings the country together.
Hopefully you've enjoyed our first show of the year. Even though we know nothing, hopefully today you've learned something. See you again next week. Bye bye.